I know some of the entourage of the players.
What has been your worst working failure, if you have one?
What do you think of the influencer bus?
It was the first time that we were filming inside the locker room, and all the comments were like, Xavi and Dembele have a very bad relationship.
Unpopular opinion, I've never received so many messages asking for tickets. They posted 200 times.
99 in one day.
What time do you wake up every day? Honest answer.
Welcome to the Always Be Creating podcast. I'm Georgina.
And I'm Aviv.
And this is my first time doing the intro.
Very nice. It's a good intro. Solid intro.
Easy, straight to the point.
Looking fresh, Georgina. Good shoes.
Thank you so much.
You went full Nike. I went full Adidas.
Yeah, full Adidas. Why are you wearing the Bayern Munich shirt?
Lots of reasons. So I think lots of things have come together. So today I did my last podcast this year that I do for the full season, which is the Clásico podcast, which we speak about Barca and Madrid. And I thought, okay, I want to wear something else than always a Barca jersey. And actually this jersey, I have it already for 6 years. It's a Bayern jersey, the gray one. It was an away one. And I was just thinking, after Lewandowski's goals and Hansi Flick's season, and we met Thiago on the weekend.
We met him, yeah.
And also we were in Lisbon, where the crime scene happened, where Hansi Flick and his Bayern team and also Lewandowski massacred us. And I think now the cycle has been completed, and there's been a moment of forgiveness, of peace.
Yeah,
and
kind of
like thank Bayern for giving us Lewandowski, giving us Hansi Flick, and also having a moment with Thiago. And now I've come to full circle. So
I'm not there yet.
Yeah,
I'm not there yet. I actually am very surprised that you're wearing a Bayern kit.
The thing is,
they
like,
hurt us so much. At least they hurt me, and they hurt my brow. We cried together in the stands of the Estadios.
No, they really hurt us. But somewhere this season, I think also beating Bayern.
Yeah.
And luckily we only played them once, so we didn't have that away game. So we beat them 4-1. It was also the game where we did the central circle carrier, where we waved the flag together. And I think it's okay. I think we made peace with Bayern after losing like 25 times in a row to them. And now it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm okay with Bayern. I've come to peace. Actually, I have good experiences with Bayern because during my first few months as working as a football content creator at 433, we had some stuff with Bayern as well. And
what did you do with them that time?
they took me to their training camp in Miami. And basically I was attached to them and making content for a few days. And Audi and Bayern and Adidas and James Rodriguez and Kingsley Coman and Arjen Robben, and we made really cool things.
Yeah,
so
that's memories forever.
Yeah, so historically I'm cool with Bayern. Then it came the whole period when we were working for Barca and the less fun times.
Correct.
And COVID and losing really a lot. Like I said jokingly 25 times, but it was feeling wise we lost a lot, and now it's okay. It's okay.
I'm glad that you've come to peace with them.
How was your week, Georgina?
Your
week, 2 weeks
great.
since we last recorded?
Yeah, 2 weeks. So much happened. Like I feel every time we the 2-week gap from episode to episode. By the way, subscribe if you haven't, so that you get the notifications every time we're posting, because we don't have like a specific day we release the podcast, but we're keeping our. We said we would do this every 2 weeks, and I think we
can keep up with it. No.
Yeah, we're keeping up.
So just now, stop whatever you're doing. Click on, if you're listening on Spotify, just click 1 second, follow this podcast, give it a 5-star review. It helps us a lot. If you're on YouTube, click like, and also comment why you like this podcast or what can be improved about this, or
questions you have for us,
anything. Things
you want us to discuss. And let me be the Apple podcast voice.
Yes.
Because I feel like I'm the only one in the room, but as an Apple user.
Georgina OS.
Yes, correct. Old username. You won't find me anymore under this username, but that used to be the one that I had. Yeah, just drop also 5-star review on Apple Podcasts if that's where you're watching or listening to us. And also another circle that we have a brand new background. I mean, are you sad that the double tap is gone?
No, actually, I think it's better now. It was a bit weird having the double tap plus also all the creators. Now we have Always Be Creating, which funnily enough also goes very nicely with all the creators.
Correct.
So
yes,
I think maybe if it's like a cardboard where we can draw stuff in there, I think it could be nicer even.
And post pictures of like the stadiums to go,
Yeah,
like the
Maybe-
memories that we discuss. That's
maybe
cool.
we can use like as our cardboard where we can just
And the
Polaroid pics
guests
and guests.
sign any ideas that you have for the board, for the podcast. Just drop them in whatever platform you're listening to us. And as Aviv said, it helps us a
Hundo.
lot, and it's very appreciated, all the support that we've been receiving. So my week was work-wise really intense with lots happening. It's like the most stressful time for anyone working in sports. Also, as we work in music, and with all the festivals approaching, there's partnerships, activations happening and coming up from everywhere. So it's busy weeks. Last time we saw each other, I don't think the parade had happened for Barca.
No.
And it feels like 2 years ago already.
Yeah, it was post Clásico, I think. It was the
Yes.
morning after the Clásico. Now we're 2 weeks further. So we've had the last home game against
Yeah.
Villarreal, Barça
Yes.
Villarreal, where there was celebration on the pitch.
Wait, you were on the pitch.
I was on the pitch, yeah. I was on the pitch.
How is that?
You know how it was. It was in complete Aviv fashion.
Correct.
Yeah, it was.
I wasn't even surprised that you were there.
Me neither, but it's always like a tingling feeling, like because you still have to make it happen.
Yes.
Like no one actually invited me on the pitch, but I know some of the entourage of the players, and I saw that they were just making their way to the pitch. And
Casually dropped by.
no, I know the guys, so
Of
I have some
course.
friends there. So I just established myself within the train that was walking towards the pitch, and
What happened?
no,
You spit.
Patricia is like found the time to stretch her fingers, so it just throws me off a little bit. No, so
That's why you should be watching on YouTube.
yeah, so and then I just followed the train on the pitch, and then all of a sudden I was there and I was hugging Gerard Martin. So to Gerard Martin.
Who, by the way, went to watch a Villanova game the other
Yeah.
day. Their promotion to the fifth Spanish division.
So Atleti Chincheta.
Yeah, and Villanova la through as well. Because
Yeah,
why not? I
and
saw he
Villanova.
wasn't there. I think it's fun when, like, we were talking the other day about how Aitana went and saw the semifinal of the Champions League, and I
Yeah.
also like it when like players go and watch third, fourth, fifth, 10th Spanish division. Like it's
Yeah.
fun. It's cool.
And then we had the Rua,
the parade,
or the player parade, where the buses started, and they actually started here outside of the
Well,
offices
double tap offices. yeah.
and the Camp Nou. Of
How
course.
did you get first row?
I can't tell.
Well, you just follow the train because you are in the entourage,
Yeah,
and you just position yourself in the first row of the parade.
yeah. No, actually, we
I had
were.
awful views.
Yeah. No, so I saw the parade on 2 places. So first one here in Camp Nou, which was pretty easy. Like we just finished Friday, we closed the office and went to stand outside with the double tap gang, and then I biked home, where, funnily enough, like close to my house, the bus also was planning to stop. So we were there quite early, and then I saw like the 3 buses come by. So the first one had Kat, Edgar Fornos.
Edgar Fornos, yes.
So,
Shout out to Edgar.
and the second one was an influencer bus
An influencer bus by
And
a sponsor,
by a sponsor, no free publicity. And the third one,
unless you're a partner of
unless you're a
Double
partner.
Tap or Flatping.
unless you're a partner, yeah. So
Correct.
no free publicity for you. And the third one was the players. So
Yes.
they deserved it the most, I think. What do you think of the influencer bus, the second one?
I know there's been like a lot of beef about it on Twitter. Like I've seen the comments and everything that's happened. I mean, I've got mixed feelings because obviously the stars of the parade are the players and full stop, period. Like there's nothing to add to it. But if it was a bus, not for influencers, but with like filled with press and people who are going to create amazing content of the parade, I mean, I think it's worth it. But I don't think it makes sense to have a bus with 20 people or like, and a lot of random people that
Yeah.
we're even like creating content about Barca or stuff. Like I think, like if you have like really cool, maybe they don't have to be Barca related or even sports related, but you have these cool fashion lifestyle creators that are going to create amazing pictures of the city, amazing pictures of the player, even interact from bus to bus. I think it's a cool opportunity to fill it up if it has to be there. And I also understand the sponsor having the place to have guests.
So just to be completely clear, so for those of you who haven't seen it, so the first bus, it's an open bus parade. So the first bus was very small. That's where Kat was. Then the second bus was basically like the player bus. It was huge, and it came second. So like once it comes towards you, you're like full of like excitement, and I'm going to see the players, and then you see some. In this case, some influencers, which I didn't know personally, but just waving and acting as they were main characters. And then the third bus
That's
comes
the weird thing
with the
to me.
player. So it's weird because we're in this business also of influencers and having people and being and creating content and stuff. But it just felt so weird, like seeing them take up so much protagonism, that I think, as you said, like if it was like a mixed bus of activation. So let's say this was a beer brand and they're handing out drinks to the people on the streets, and there's journalists and there's photographers and there's press, and you invite like, I don't know, 5 influencers or 10, and they're just a part of this bigger thing. But just having this whole bus to accommodate, I don't know, 10 or 15 influencers was so weird, especially as the press. They were just walking from Camp Nou until Arc de Triomphe, so to the press. That's like a bit, and to Eric Serra as well.
Yeah, he was walking.
He was walking. It's like
great shots on TV.
Yeah, 20,000 steps. That's huge. But it was just weird to see it. So Strava, yeah. No, it was no spawn. So that was that. So we had the parade. Then we had the Europa League final.
Yes. Did you go? No, I didn't. Did you go?
I didn't go. No.
I would have loved to go though.
I also would have loved to go, but then not really, to be honest, because
why?
Bilbao, I think.
I love Bilbao.
I've been there too many times.
Me too, but I love it. I go to Bilbao anytime I get a chance.
But it's too small of a city to accommodate like 100,000 drunken British people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So essentially.
Okay. Yeah. True. Although the ambience, the pictures that came out of it were insane. Also the city. I love the city.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant. Like
but Bilbao is so like photogenic.
Exactly. Gets a lot of hate sometimes, but I think it's like in the last decades, like it's become a very, very cute city, great city for a city break, And I think, the fans, everyone who came back from Bilbao were happy with the experience of this.
We had a lot of activations going on.
Yeah, what did you have there?
We had a few brands like there. We had like Betano. We had Flixbus. We had Adidas. I think we had Oppo. Not sure. I think we were working with a few brands around that game. We had like approximately 10 content creators. Everyone was super happy. One thing we do need to speak about, and that's the problem of modern football. This is the hotel prices.
Yeah.
In Bilbao.
The flight prices and
the flight prices and everything that just like skyrockets the moment, Yeah. The prices for hotel nights in Bilbao that night were 1,500 euros.
No, it's insane.
For a one-star hotel.
It's insane. No, that's what happens when you bring like a lot of people into a city. It's not the only time
it's taking advantage though a bit.
It's taking. I'm not sure. Like obviously, there's an intention there, but I think it's automatic. Like it's dynamic pricing. Like the more you search for it, the more the search is spiking. It automatically increases the prices. So it doesn't. It's like obviously the dynamic prices. Somebody put that in place, but it's not like, okay, we have the Europa League final or we have this event and we make the price skyrocket. It's just ourselves. That's how it works.
But I think there, also the city choices, like if you look at the European finals, Bilbao, super expensive. Now Wrocław in Poland for the Conference League final, super expensive. Munich was expensive for a while because like all the Barca fans thought they were going to go. So Barcelona, for example, the flights to Munich were expensive. Now they're not. Lisbon, I mean, also we are a bit unlucky that we live in the city that hosts the final the finalist, right? Like the Barça
Correct.
Femenino.
Yeah.
So all the fans travel from here. So it's a bit unlucky. The prices were also super high, like 700-800 euros for return flights, Barcelona Lisbon.
People doing crazy. Like you had someone,
Yeah.
Marianne.
Wow, Marianne.
Shout out to Marianne for her 20 hours shared.
So Marianne, she left, I think, Barcelona Friday afternoon, 5 p.m. 14 hours in a blah car. And then after the game, shout out to Marianne.
Sponsor.
And then she went back, and then she said the driver decided to take a nap because was too tired. So he took a nap. He said he was going to take a nap for 30 minutes. He took a nap for 5 hours. They didn't dare to wake him up. So they came back after 20 hours. So she was in a car for 34 hours in a span of 48 hours. Would you have done? Would you have done the sacrifice?
No.
Would you to see your favorite team play a Champions League final?
Well,
maybe. Are you too spoiled?
Like I have a thing with trips. I would say it's the only thing where I'm very picky. Like I hate, but it's more a time, the time reasoning behind this.
Okay.
It's not that I could literally fly in like ultra super low cost economy class where you are basically crunched against a wall. I would be fine with that as long as it's like 1 hour. Or the other way around, I would pay more money if it's faster. Like, I don't really care about if it's a bus or it's a car or whatever it is. I want to be there fast. I don't want to spend time commuting. But it's the same. I live literally 8 minutes from the office.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to like waste my time. My time is precious. So I just don't want to waste it.
I'm a bit of the same. Like, always direct flights. Almost always. Unless it's really like impossible. I would always go for direct flights. I would also happily pay more. And I have a thing with not flying before like 9 a.m. I don't like morning flights at all.
Yeah.
Because I just wake up like half dead and then it kind of ruins the rest of my day.
Yes. No, early flights are difficult. In this case, to Lisbon for the women final, I took a very early flight, like at 7 a.m. So basically I was awake at 5.
SO too?
So to Welling, great partners of Flatping.
Always be creating podcasts.
Correct.
And Flatping Studios.
Yes. They had this early flight and it was great. I don't mind it if I'm going to... The thing is, I hate waking up early. I have this like... it kind of doesn't make sense that I'm saying that my time is precious and I want to make the most out of it. I want to make the most out of the hours that I'm awake.
What time do you wake up every day? Honest answer. This is...
I put my alarm at 8.
Wow.
But I wake up at 9.
Wow.
Thing is, I go to sleep at 10. So make your calculations.
Whoa, you sleep a long time.
Yes. At 10, 11... No. I never...
What do you do if there's Champions League midweeks? Sleep later?
Yeah.
Or do you watch it?
I go to sleep late. Yeah, but I watch it. No. When do you wake up usually?
7. Alarm always at 7.
I would love to be a morning person, and I
I'm
think
not.
I could be. Well, you wake up at 7 a.m.
I wake up at 7 just because I think it's a good moment to wake up.
I would love to be one of these people who just wake up and their day starts and they can do yoga and they can walk and they can get coffee and they can...
Me too.
I just want to, go back to sleep when I wake up. Like, because 11 hours is not enough.
That's crazy. Like, I'm happy with 7 hours of sleep, but at the same time, I'm like waking up at 7. I'm not a morning person, so like I have no interest in socializing the first 2-3 hours when I'm awake. I also don't take meetings, don't take calls, don't speak with anyone. Just like to be awake and kind of ready to go.
Surviving.
Yeah, and
animal mode.
Exactly. Come open the office. I feel like...
Do you open the office every day?
I try to, yeah. I try to open the office because I feel if not like that I'm running behind the facts. It's a Dutch maybe sentence.
No, but I understand and I feel you.
And then I'm like, oh, okay.
Catching up.
Yeah, I have to catch up. I prefer the one who sets the pace.
No, the thing is, I just like, because I might sleep for like 10 hours every day, but I promise you, the 14 hours I'm awake, I burn 3,000 calories. Like I'm hyperactive. So that's, I think, why I need to like sleep a lot,
Yeah.
because I give it all. Like when I'm awake, I give it my everything. Like I'm
Okay.
very chill in this podcast compared to what I am in real life.
That's good to know. We should maybe do the next one standing, just like walking around. No, I don't think that would be beneficial.
Patricia is saying no.
Especially for the ones watching this on YouTube. Okay, cool. So that was a good week. And the Women's Champions League final, of course, which we both attended.
Yeah.
How's your feeling about that?
I'm a bit heartbroken that
Arsenal beat
Barca
1-0 against all odds.
Yeah, I think everyone was surprised.
Shocked.
I mean,
Flustered.
yes.
Flabbergasted.
I hate the role of the favorite, and this is why.
I think also Patricia, who is now behind the cameras, also hates their favorite role. Every time we told her, like, okay, Barca is going to pick up a trophy, and she was like, no, don't say it. And we just said it. Actually, it was funny because I was speaking to people. So I arrived in Lisbon Friday evening, and then Saturday morning, like, I went to an Adidas event. There were a few creators of ours, and I just was speaking to people. And everyone was seeing me like as the Barca guy, you know. So and what's it going to be today? And I'm like,
come back, please.
Honestly, like if Arsenal manages to keep this under 3-0, it would be a good game for them. Like, and I was saying this with so much confidence, and to creators and to the clients and basically anyone who I spoke with, I just propagated this. If Arsenal manages to keep this under 3-0. With such confidence and arrogance, and also to Thiago and to Jill Scott, who we saw at the event, and they were like, "What are you on about?" But whatever, and they seemed like to kind of trust my opinion because I said it with a lot of confidence.
Confidence is everything.
And then as the game like kind of went by, we watched it with a few content creators in the Heineken box, and Humberto, a Mexican guy who I think never watched a women's game in his life. He was like, you told me they would score after 15 minutes. You told me they would be 3-0 up at halftime. What happened? And it was 0-0 at halftime. I'm like,
with a disallowed own goal.
I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it. Now they will go into the dressing room. They will come out fierce. They will come out angry. And nothing happened. So, yeah. What do I know?
No, it was very surprising for us. Like, I work a lot with women football, and I also thought that if Barca beat Chelsea, like Arsenal would be easier to win, and with the result of the semifinals, I bought your story of the 3-0.
So Chelsea won the championship?
Yeah.
Right?
And by far.
And we scored 7 goals against Chelsea?
Yes. And the game was amazing. Like, the two legs were...
I didn't score anything, but...
Yeah.
But we no Barca women scored 7 goals against Chelsea.
That reminds me of something, but I'm gonna save it for another day.
We scored, but they lost.
How many? Correct. We scored, but they lost.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was frustrating. I'm sad for the team.
For who are you most sad?
I'm very sad seeing Aitana cry. To be honest, all the footage of her tears, like, because she really like feels Barca. I mean, like all the rest of the players, but like she was destroyed. I think she was one of the players that you can say had an good game on the pitch. So it makes me sad for her. It makes me sad for the rest, for Alexia. I think I want them to like win everything now, because I don't want in a few years to look back and be like, this team should have won 5 Champions League and didn't. Like the men
but
team.
they already won 3, and they always make the final. They make the finals almost every year, and they're a super team. So I think defeat is also part of the sport, unfortunately.
No, of course. And great shout out to Arsenal, who played a great game and went in for every duel and won. And they had the Irene Paredes disallowed goal. I mean, they had this alert in the first half that it wouldn't be easy, and it wasn't. a bit surprised with how no changes and substitutions and everything. But okay, like football-wise, it's
saw
a part
Pera
of the
Romeu.
game. Yeah, we were discussing
Pera,
it with
where are the subs,
Patri.
Pera?
We were discussing this with Patri before. Like, but this happens. Like, what do I know? I'm definitely not into football as
We're
much
not
as
managers.
him.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we don't know.
Exactly. I manage other stuff.
Unpopular opinion. I think it was a good thing. Maybe. I think it was a good thing for everyone. Let me explain my case.
I understand your case.
I think it's good for European football. I think it's good for English football. I think if you look at the last 10 years, it was always either Olympique Lyon or Barca winning the Champions League. And I think people, outsiders of the sport, who are looking at the sport and say, okay, always these two clubs are winning. Actually, you're like women's football is not that important, like not that interesting if it's always the same people winning. Investment wise, like you say, okay, like why would we invest if we go up against two super teams? And why would we even try? Almost no, you get that feeling like everyone, as myself, like arrogance and Barca will win it, and Arsenal, you have no chance against all odds. Like honestly, like also football experts, like I don't consider myself an expert, but I watch sometimes. But women's football experts also said like no chance, and they did it. So I think it's quite encouraging. I think they're the third or fourth team in the British Premier League, in WSL. So that's very encouraging to like a Chelsea, a United, a City,
Absolutely.
an Arsenal, but maybe also if you look abroad, like a Wolfsburg, like, hey, wait a second, this team can be beaten. Let's try and invest and let's bet on our youth system and let's try to incorporate good players and maybe tactically and physically and mentally, and let's try to make those small wins in order to, once we get to the final, we do have a chance. So I think it's super positive also for England. I think the English game has been one of the like the up there, like filling up stadiums and filling up Stamford Bridge and
investing money,
and the Emirates and investing money, etc.
Which is what you need, basically.
So I think it's super encouraging, and congrats to Arsenal. I mean, even after the game, like obviously, like I'm not sure if sad is the word. We were maybe a bit disheartened. We were standing there, and with both, we were the only ones wearing the Barca shirt. But also, look at girls, you look at the Arsenal fan base, and they're having a great time. So
yeah, and the difference also with like men football, like obviously there were people who were very, very sad and heartbroken about it, but the ambience outside the stadium with the Barca fans, like I saw them like having dinner and just enjoying being in Lisbon, and like the experience. It's also like a different approach maybe to defeat. You didn't see fights on the streets, or you didn't see like the level of hate and violence on social media that you see against men, either it's a manager or specific players when they have bad performances. So that's also different.
The manager of Barca received some comments. I went on his Instagram.
He did. It's also because probably of the season and how some people were saying, well, careful, because there's a few things that could be fixed. But it's not the same level. Like, I don't think you can compare.
No.
Like, it's a completely different thing. But yeah, I have to agree with you that besides, obviously, I'm also sad and I just wish so much that Barca would have won and three-peated the Champions League. It's good for, in the long run, that other teams see Barca as beatable, the same way that it happened when Real Madrid beat Barca at home. Like, obviously, I didn't want the Barca women team to lose the Clásico, but I think, for example, in the Liga F, the women league, the numbers skyrocketed. It was everywhere.
It makes sense because if Barca wins, it's not news. If they don't win, it's news. So,
and it's good. It makes it more competitive, and the other teams believe. And Barca also had another loss against Levante.
Yeah.
A few weeks earlier, Levante were in the relegation zone. So it was like this massive celebration on the Johan Cruyff because they lost home. And I mean, if you take a look at the big picture, super, super big picture, if you're a Barca fan, I mean, you need to make sacrifices.
In the long run, it's better for the game. And you said you were sad for the players, but I also think, like, the more you win, maybe the less hungry you are. And once you lose, like now,
You need to bounce
I know
back.
for sure that next year they will win everything.
I agree with this. I agree with this.
So Patri is already looking at me like in disbelief.
Shut up.
Stop jinxing. But superstitious fans. No.
I'm not going back to Lisbon anyways.
Next year they will win everything because they're hungry, and Aitana will stay and Alexia will stay, and defeat makes you stronger. So
where's the next final? I'm checking. Of the Champions League next year.
Oslo. I think in Oslo.
In Oslo?
Yeah.
Oslo.
Okay. Oslo, yeah, Patri?
Checking.
Oslo, yeah. So pro tip for all you travelers out there.
Just buy it now.
Open your booking.com, buy flight tickets already now with the Flex pack.
And show booking.
Booking.com, hotels. Get it now, free cancellation for all the 4 European finals. It's better to do it now than pay 10 times the price in a year from now.
Absolutely.
And you can cancel it always. So.
I have friends who go every year and just buy the tickets before whatever the final is and just go.
Yeah, Eric Serra. Very good. SO
You will see him in Munich.
Second SO, yeah. Yeah, we'll see him in Munich.
You will see him. I'm not going.
So last year, we have this mutual friend, actually the guy who hired me at Barca, but mutual friend, works for Barca. And last year, he came to Wembley, to London with, what was it,
he
6
didn't
friends,
go to the
7
stadium.
friends? No, to London.
Just to London, yeah.
They booked London because of the Champions League final, potential Champions League final. And then I called him 5 hours before the game. Eric, I have a ticket for you for the Champions League final.
Oh, wow.
And he told me, no, I can't. I'm with friends. We're going to go to the fan zone. It would be weird if I'm the only one going to the game.
That's friendship.
So, yeah, that's friendship. It's also stupid, but it's also friendship. And he didn't go to the Champions League final.
Stupid. I think it's valors.
Valors.
It's valors. That's good. Would you let us know in the comments if you are with 5 friends in the fan zone before a Champions League final, and you get a call from Aviv saying, "Hey, I have a ticket for you." Would you leave your friends in the fan zone and go to the game, or would you stay with your friends? Let us know.
I've never received so many messages ahead of a Champions League final as I have this time.
Asking for tickets?
Asking for tickets. Like, French people have been unbearable.
We are unbearable.
Yeah, we are unbearable. I have a French passport too. Fun fact. Yeah, you know this. Yeah, you know this.
But I completely forgot why.
Yeah, no one needs to know. All the French people just asking for tickets, and it's crazy. And they're prepared to pay a stupid amount of money for tickets because apparently there are no tickets, and PSG makes the final. The last time they made the final, it was COVID, so no one was there. And now everyone wants to be there.
Of course.
Lisbon. Do you want to speak about Lisbon, Georgina?
I just said like 2 minutes ago.
Tell us the reel that you posted.
I posted a reel saying I'm never going back to Lisbon, basically because I have attended 3 games in Lisbon. The first one that I attended in my life was the 2-8, which Aviv is clearly over, but I'm not.
I wasn't there. It's different. I still lived it. I watched it. I think, I watched it at home. I was working. I was doing Twitter, but it was a short night, working shift.
It was horrible because the COVID era was horrible. The game was awful in every sense.
What's the worst word you can describe something? Horrible, awful?
Oof. Disgraceful.
Dismal. Disgraceful.
Yeah, if I was a native, maybe I would have more vocabulary. For now, I'm going to stick with what a disgrace of a night.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was very bad, like very, very bad. And watching at the scoreboard and seeing like the 8th goal and Coutinho scored amazing, like making it worse and worse.
The word plays. I'd hate to be a Barca fan at the moment.
Stop.
Yeah.
Don't go there. Don't make this jokes.
I'm always the guy who
I
prefer like self-pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer self-pain than someone else making the joke about me.
No, laughing of oneself is a great coping mechanism. I would say it's mine as well. But in that specific moment, it was very bad. Like in the stadium and the whole situation, because our driver tested positive for COVID the same day. So we were basically isolated, each one of us in our rooms. And we were not allowed like to talk to anyone. We had our food delivered to the room. We couldn't leave. Just until we were clear, then went to the stadium. Like the whole experience of the 2-8 was awful.
So just to be clear, we're speaking about the A2 Bayern Barca in 2021.
Which one are you talking? Do you want it to be?
2021, no?
2020, not 2020.
2020, true.
Was COVID,
2020
pure
quarterfinal.
Peak COVID.
We were drawing at some point, 1-1. Good times.
0-0.
Yeah, and 0-0. We started
beginning of
with
the
a
game.
draw, and we
Coping mechanism.
we also drew the game. So David Alaba.
True.
So David Alaba for the own goal.
So bad. Okay.
Huh?
It was awful.
Yeah,
I have
it
no
was
words.
really awful. It was
I
the
swear
worst.
to you, our colleague Mark Brau, shout out to Mark Brau, was crying after the game. He doesn't mind me saying this.
Yeah,
Like he was crying, and I was kind of crying as well. Like I was
Kike Setien taking selfies before the match
stop.
with the technical staff.
Pjanic commenting on our live that we were doing from the stadium. Like we were doing a live on Instagram Live, and he was joining Barca in a few weeks. Like the transfer was agreed and announced.
I remember this.
Arthur Pjanic.
Yeah.
And Pjanic was commenting on the live, and we were asking, "Hey, what do you think is going to be the score tonight?" And you're like 2-0 or something. I don't know. And then
He was right about the 2.
I don't know if
He was not right about the
I
0.
don't know. The whole thing was undescribable, like very, very bad. But then the year after, I went back with you. And we conceded 3 goals. It was a 3-0 against Benfica. So basically,
Well, we had such
Barca's
big chances in
goalkeeper
the
and
first.
me, we went home. 11 goals against
We
2
had
games.
such big chances though in the first few minutes, like Luke De Jong and Serginho Dest, and
Luke de Jong, what a myth.
yeah,
Icon.
it's okay. We had
Icon to me.
huge chances, and then we just ended up losing 3-0. And I also ended up, I was sitting behind the goal, and I was cursing everything related to Nicolas Otamendi, like
Who you were probably supporting a few
Yeah.
months later in the World Cup.
in the World Cup. Yeah, he's my hero and my symbol.
And I love you and Mary.
But I was really destroying him that game. And we lost again in Lisbon now.
And we lost a trophy, a title.
To be fair, like I don't know. Okay, so you are probably the maybe a jinx, maybe. But Barca played this year twice in Lisbon.
Yeah, we weren't there.
You could have gone. Who knows what would have happened?
Correct.
But Barca won twice in Lisbon this year,
Yeah.
5-4 and 1-0.
Yes.
Benfica.
Yes. I wisely decided not to go.
So Barca supporters don't necessarily like hate Lisbon, maybe a bit.
I do. That's the only thing. Yeah, but it's not Barca thing.
Yeah.
I agree. No, but I think Barca are over Lisbon.
Maybe.
I just am not. Like maybe it's me and that's it.
Yeah.
But just because I'm not over Bayern and Lisbon, 2 things happen in the same place. So yeah, that's it for the UEFA Women's Champions League. We'll need to see what happens next year.
And Espanyol staying in the league.
There was a moment. There was a moment at halftime where Espanyol was in the relegation zone. Badalona, who we work with, were in the playoff for the promotion. They were winning, and Barca was drawing 0-0.
Yeah, and we expected
we
them to win,
expected,
yeah.
maybe not a 5-0, but maybe like a 4-0.
Yeah.
We were chilling. How things change. But Badalona made it.
Barca women lost.
So bad.
Barca Athletic relegated.
Yes.
And
Last minute drama as well.
and Espanyol stayed in the league. Those who are asking where this obsession with Espanyol comes from, yeah, go figure. It's also nice. I always like seeing Espanyol being relegated.
Me too.
I also like them
Going back?
going back up. Therefore, I have like 1 year of derby,
Yeah.
and then seeing them back relegated again. So yeah, this is me. Let's speak about more things that didn't go well that day.
More thing. Okay, yeah. I know where you're going.
So
Patri, is the mic working?
yeah, is the mic is it recording? Is the sound recording? Yeah, sure. For sure it's recording.
Because it's sure.
SO to sure. SO to sure.
Were you sure the other day?
No, we were not because we didn't have sure.
Correct. We had another brand.
Yeah, so let's go back. Let's go. Okay,
Yeah.
so we were the game, okay? So
These are-
the game ends. The game ends. Let's take it back. So we
5
go back in
hours
time.
before.
5 hours before. It was a lovely afternoon. sunny Lisbon. We're this nice event organized by Heineken. Me and you were there with Heineken. SO to Double Tap, SO to Heineken. Heineken created this wonderful brunch/lunch in a nice, let's say, Lisbon restaurant. They brought
Traiano
out Jill
Parque.
Scott, brought out Thiago, legends of the game, both in their respective fields. We were chilling with Thiago for quite a long time, we must say. What a guy.
What a guy. Good guy.
Such a nice guy.
Never met him before, and he was great. Great in every sense. Very different kind of player, like everybody knows this. But you could tell.
No, Thiago Alcantara, I mean...
Something else.
So I was speaking with him. He arrived to this event, and we have a mutual friend, the friend that also was with him, Jordi Figueras, SO to him as well. And we were just chatting and just asking, okay, Thiago, what are you up to these days? And he was asking what I'm up to these days. And I told him about Double Tap and content creators, and that we also brought content creators out to Lisbon. And that at some point we would film something with him. And he said, okay, where are the content creators? And I said, oh, they're right there. Wait, let me go say hi to them. That just shows you what a guy he is, because he just, out of his own initiative, he asked me where you guys were. He went to say hi, went to present
Asking
himself.
people,
No?
yeah. He was
So-
like, where did you arrive? How are you? How was the trip? Very chill guy.
It was super nice. And then also our Mexican creators were there, Marcela and Humberto, and he started speaking with them about the Dos Santos brothers. And honestly, he was the best guy. Okay, so people start creating content with him. So first up, Jose Cobo. Second up, Humberto. Third up, I think it was you.
Maybe. I don't know.
Fourth one was me.
No, because we were like...
And then fifth, and then
I
we
don't know.
said, okay, but he looks so relaxed
So cool. And chill and
chill. So let's...
and interesting to talk to.
And interesting because he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
And we said, me and you were talking, and we said, hey,
We
what
have
if
a podcast.
we bring him for the podcast?
Yeah.
And we give you guys 5 minutes of Thiago, maybe 2 minutes. We said actually 1 minute. Let's
To
ask him
him,
one
we
question.
said 1 minute.
Yeah, but we were hoping for 2. and
Ended
we
up
got
being
5.
5. Yeah.
So we're recording and
Perfect.
asking Thiago, how's it going?
I'm dying.
And Aviv and Georgina, we are live after Barca. And so how is life after Barca? How is life after football? He recently bought a club, which is Hospitalet, together with Jordi Alba. So he's also an entrepreneur. We asked him, yo, what do you think about personal branding these days for players? Like Lamine Yamal, like Aitana Bonmati, how they position themselves. Any advice for young
You're
footballers
hurting
out
me.
there? And the guy is just so sweet, and he answers and he goes in conversations with us, and everything is great until
Until a few minutes after the conversation, I'm like, let's check the audio, because there was like at the restaurant, the music was playing. It was pretty loud, and there were lots of people around talking, a lot of noise basically. So I was like, I want to check if it's clear enough and good enough, the quality that we want to deliver to all of you. And so the mics were not working. Like they were connected, because I saw they were connected. And yeah, I don't know what to say. We
So-
didn't deliver.
so Aviv and Georgina, 18 years of working experience collectively, I would say. Maybe 8 or 9 years working for Barca media department, working for some other things as well. Owners of agencies, creating content still, content creators. This is what we do. This is basically how we make our money. Thank God. We are fortunate to do what we do. We have a podcast together. We know a thing or two about camera quality. We know a thing or two about sound. Having 2 minutes with Thiago, we were...
I don't want to talk. I was devastated that we didn't get the audio.
Thanks to Thiago, though.
Gracias. I was devastated. Like, to be honest, like the conversation was so good. I don't want to create like FOMO out of this, because it's already bad enough. But yeah, I was very sad that the audio didn't make it. And the thing that really bothers me is that I don't know what went wrong. I can't understand. I used the mics today for another filming, and they worked perfectly fine. I worked them.
Were you scared, though?
Yeah.
that it
Well,
wouldn't work?
I triple checked. To be honest, I always triple check. But that time you couldn't like triple check because you have like it's a one shot. So you do and you pray. I don't pray because I know it's gonna work, but it didn't. So maybe I should have prayed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought you were gonna say I don't pray because I'm an atheist.
I am.
So
But
that's also a good reason not to pray.
Yes, correct.
Um,
Everybody prays when the plane shakes.
This is the worst thing, no?
It's probably one of the worst things that you can go through as a content creator, I would say.
Especially for us, we're a young podcast. Having Thiago on would be a massive achievement for us, as we also want to bring you guests in the future and football players and other interesting content creators and people from the industry. But also for episode number 3, having Thiago is a massive legend.
Yes.
Also speaking like clearly, you know, like like we could easily have him like for an hour and we could chat about whatever. And
the conversation was flowing, was great.
We failed, so we're human. Everyone can fail.
What has been your worst working failure, if you have one? Because maybe you don't.
No, so I think I have a lot of like, obviously I'm not perfect. Like probably I've made like countless mistakes, but I've a very natural coping mechanism with failure, in which like when something doesn't go, like I process it almost immediately, and I don't know, or I kind of like save the situation somehow, or I don't know. I think
you let it go.
Yeah, I let it go. So one thing I always told people, it's okay. They were always asking me like, okay, but you're creating content, I don't know, for millions of people to be seen, blah, blah, blah. Are you never nervous or whatever? I said, no, because it's always me and my phone. So I'm speaking to the phone and I don't care who is on the other side of the screen. So that's why I'm never nervous. But what sometimes happens, public speaking is still like a thing for me, you know, even if I'm at a crowd of like 20 people or 50 people or 100 people, which once happened last year in Amsterdam, where I did this thing for Moco Museum in Amsterdam, and it was like this shared collaboration between Ajax and Cruyff and Barca and Moco Museum. It's like match made in Aviv, and they asked me to be their host, and I'm doing my introduction, and after two sentences, I block completely, and I see all these eyes like looking at me, and I see these eyes. I'm like, shit, I am blocking. So then I block some more.
Yeah, because that makes it worse.
And I just rambled something, and I tried to continue like very quickly, and I was like trembling, like my voice was like shaking, and I see these people. They said like, "What the fuck? This is Aviv, you know? Like how why?" I'm like, and I gave the word to someone. So the guy who was speaking after me, Brian Beckner. I saw Brian Beckner.
I was gonna say, did you get the name right?
Yeah, I got the name right. And then obviously like this guy is super polished, like American, big dude, delivers every line like impeccably. And then like I had some time to like gain air, and then I just did what I do best, and it's like make a joke. So I went after him and I said, "Pa, no one does it quite does like the Americans, huh?" And everyone was just laughing because it was like really, you can really feel like he was super American, and I delivered it properly, the line. And then I gained back my confidence, and I recovered. But that moment I wanted to bury myself.
It's so bad. Like when you're in public, that's a thing when you work like in public or live, basically. Like live shows, and like that's a pressure that I also think it's what keeps us going, no? Like for me, the fear and the adrenaline of I know I can mess up is what keeps me going. Like the pressure is like for me, it's worse to be talking in front. Like the other day, randomly, we have at the office. We work in a co-working space, and we share the office with other companies. And for random reason, I had to go and say a few words in front of like 15 people that I see every day. I was shaking, Aviv. I was shaking. It was ridiculous. I could not. Like
that's crazy.
But it's a live show, millions of people watching. I'm good.
No, honestly, sometimes when I'm at work and you have to speak, like also it's like the first words when you're standing up and everyone's just looking at you, it's a bit weird. But I think this public speaking, I don't know. So I moderate a lot of panels. Actually, I moderated one last week in Amsterdam at the Soccer X. Yeah,
cool.
And it's always so funny because
what was the name of the panel?
I don't even know. Like I think it was something like it was Total Football: The Impact of Johan Cruyff, like in 2025.
Oh, okay.
And these days I just moderate whatever, and I also moderated this one. But always the first word, the first sentence, like that I speak, when I have to introduce myself, I'm like there's always like this. My heart pumps like 150, and I'm like. And I never like really like say what I want to say because I just want to go through it really quickly, and then I introduce my guests, and then once they speak, and I kind of like recover like the question mode and stuff, and I can sometimes make a joke, and I sometimes interact with the public. That's when I'm good. But the first lines, I always
joking
like
what should I say?
Yeah, and it's funny. It's so fun. But that's why I think it's exactly what you say. The fear of like that it can go wrong. It's also why we do it.
Yeah. No, for me, it's totally that. I love it. It keeps me going. The more pressure, the more I like it. Like it's good for me. But I think it's in general, like for me, public speaking is something that I like, that I enjoy, and that is not like massive trouble to me. Either it's in front of a camera or just with an audience. But for me, it's much worse. Like 15 people that staring at you, that an audience of, I don't know, like 10,000 people, that's fine. Like it's completely okay to me. Like I don't care.
What's been your worst working failure?
Failure. Like, I don't know. I've messed up many times, countless times probably. I have, though, a memory from Barca that, because I don't let it go like you. Like when I do something wrong, like it sticks with me. Best case scenario for the whole day until I go to sleep, but it can stay with me for like days. There was this one time where it was like the first time that we were filming inside the locker room after, double tap coworkers leaving. Bye-bye. Yeah. That's for the ones not watching on YouTube and that hear the noise. So that one time, it was one of the first times, I think it was the first time that we were filming inside the locker room after a Liga game. Barca beat Atletico de Madrid 4-2, I think it was, under Xavi. And it had been agreed that if Barca won, we would go into the dressing room, the locker room, and film. And so I went there, and I was already nervous because also, like, woman, dressing room, like it's already a bit awkward, and everyone is like, what are you doing there? But it was fine. And it was also like lots of pressure, like that we were filming for social media inside the locker room. We're talking years ago. And so I filmed. Everything was great. I was very happy. I had to like check 1,000 times that there were no weird things in the pictures or in the audios, like that everything was safe. And once everyone had agreed and everything was okay, we posted it, whatever. I get home. When I arrive home, loads of messages, turn the TV on. I'm like, no, what happened? What happened? And so there's this big popular TV show, El Chiringuito in Spain, where they like to
dissect
every frame of whatever thing, which is great. To be honest, it's peak attention television. Like you don't easily get to do that, but they manage to have the attention of thousands of people every night. So, and so there apparently the clip started with Xavi handshaking some player while Dembele was sitting just right by this player, and Xavi wasn't saying hi to him, celebrating with him. And all the comments were like, Xavi and Dembele have a very bad relationship. Look at this, after the victory, he's not saying anything to Dembele. I wanted to die. I just hadn't pressed the record button fast enough. Like there was 2 different clips, and so for some reason, like it was like literally a split second. And it was everywhere. It was on Twitter, like Xavi, the relationship. The newspapers were picking it up. It was everywhere, and I just wanted to die. Like everyone was asking me, like, "But did this happen? What happened? Why isn't this filmed? Why didn't you record? Why did?" And I was like, I don't know. Like I filmed everything. I was probably like filming something else, and like the movement took me half a second, and this is not on camera. That's it. But I remember I was feeling like really bad because I thought like we're now filming in the locker room again. This is it. Like we've done it once, and because it's everywhere on TV and on Twitter and on the newspapers, like it's gone. Like it's never happening enough, and it's because of my fault. But then with the perspective, it's like we're just stupid, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it's not that important. Like who cares?
But then you move on.
You move on.
So that's also what we should do. We're in for, I think, a good full hour already.
Thanks for
we
sticking.
wouldn't be. Yeah, thanks for
listening.
If you made it this far, thank you. Just so you know, you're
And drop
special
a
to us.
lemon in the comments.
A lemon. If you
If
made
you-
it this far,
Yeah, we want to
I
see
like it.
lemons on the comments.
I like it. I
See
never
how many
heard of
lemons
this
we get.
technique. Okay, so 1 hour in, drop a lemon, and we will send you a personalized video.
Yeah, you can drop it in any comment in any platform. Yeah,
Any platform,
Instagram, TikTok,
but
YouTube.
Please, our platform. So at Always Be Creating Podcast on Instagram and TikTok, and on YouTube as well. You can look for us, or own social media at Georgina Leger, at Aviv Levy. Okay, cool. So Georgina, to wrap this up, we wouldn't be Georgina and Aviv if we wouldn't touch a little bit upon social media.
Mm-hmm.
What was the thing that was most in the picture for you this week?
Tottenham was
Social
everywhere.
media wise. Yeah, Tottenham, yeah.
The Spurs
They
were
were-
everywhere.
They were really everywhere. I think they really made us like they made the whole world know that they won a trophy.
Which is
haven't they?
logical.
Logical. They posted 200 times in a week, which is, how crazy is that?
99 in one day.
99 in one day. So on Thursday they posted 99 times.
SO to the
SO
social media team at
So
Tottenham.
yeah, you have friends there, no?
Well, I moderated a panel with Shanil Patel, so shout out to him and the great work that they've been doing on social media, not only for this game, but to be honest, they've been amazing.
They've
For
been
the
waiting
whole
for this
season.
moment a lot.
Yes. They even had an Easter egg in the Away Kid release video. I love that, actually. They put this Bilbao detail in the Away Kid release 1 year before, like see you in Bilbao, like the detail was something about Bilbao. And then they fished it
Wow.
months later to say, okay, you had the
Okay.
Easter egg there. And we are here now, and we're going to post 200 times about it, which for me, I'm in for this strategy. Post everything,
I'm also pro posting.
of course.
I'm pro posting.
It's
I
too
know
much. Too many posts. No. Post.
My
You
fir-
never know when you're going to win again or when you're like, just do it.
my first day, I
So
remember
Nike.
first day at Barca, like my first meeting with the social media team. Our old social media manager definitely set me up for failure. Albert Arias, I saw to him. He's a legend. We were sitting, like he called everyone together, and it was my first day, and he said, meet Aviv, blah, blah, blah. By the way, he has a few suggestions to make. Aviv, please.
No.
And then
He did
I was
that.
like telling, we need to post 4 or 5, this, that. And I see now we're posting 3 times a day. I think we should post at least 6 to 9 times a day. And everyone was looking at me like, fuck you. Like, why do you want to make our lives harder? Like we have enough work. Why would you go from 3 to 6 posts? Anyway, I'm 100% pro posting.
I would have to check if 99 in one day is a record for a sports team.
Must be.
I remember last year for a uni class, I checked how many posts the Kansas City Chiefs posted after the Super Bowl win. I can't remember the number. Like it was insane as well, but maybe like 70 or something. Like it was definitely not in the hundreds. Otherwise, I wouldn't have forgotten it. But I would love to know. And if it is, please,
Let
record
us know in the
Guinness,
comments, yeah.
hand the guys the plate they deserve. Anything that stood out for you?
No, I think Spurs, like I was telling also my content team that, like, yo, check this out. It's 15 hours since the final whistle, and they've posted 48 times, which was already like remarkable to me. And as you said, like they posted whatever, like memes. And what really stood out for me was collab. So the power of collab. They collab with everyone and their mom, like with 433 and with TNT Sport and with Bleacher Report and with Overtime and I think with Puberty, and they just
They were everywhere.
Did you collab with
Everywhere.
everyone? Everyone who would send them like a collab request,
Except-
Premier League and Europa League, and they collab with everyone and the players, which I love, obviously.
Yes.
So that was really cool to see, when you can really go all out. And I mean, fair play to them, right? They also had the parade afterwards where they did more cool things. So yeah, so to Tottenham, good for you. Good, congrats on winning the Europa League.
Contrasts a lot with the announcement, for example, of Xavi Alonso as a coach for Real Madrid. 3 posts on
3
Instagram
posts,
only,
yeah.
which is very Real Madrid, very, very classic, institutional on their posting. It was literally the ABC announcement, name and logo and
Comunicado oficial.
Comunicado oficial. Edit. I was surprised they did it, but okay. Edit old Xavi handshaking Xavi of 2025. And
only thing that was missing is the thumbs up.
Probably didn't have it yet.
No.
Because it's more difficult, obviously. Like saying goodbye to a legend like Modric. You have a lot of more content. And also, it's funny how people know what we're posting. Because I saw a comment on Manchester United's defeat post or once with the fans. I'm going to read textually. Like, there was a comment saying, next post, 10 best goals of the season 1999. 2010, players playing card games, happy birthday Onana, Bruno's free kick replay, all angle. They know us.
They know.
Please, teams in social media, people who work in content, stop posting the same thing. Like, just go bold, do different things. Like, for me, like, this is so important. Like, it's a core value for me. I don't want to see a reference of your content. I want something new.
Do you prefer the American way? Like, okay, defeat, whatever, we continue.
Yes.
We continue posting?
It's complicated. I understand the sensibility. Just go. Like, just, there's so many things you can do. Even if you lose, silence, I don't think is an option. Like, it's not for me.
Honestly, we could speak now for hours if we continue speaking. We're not going to do that because this is a topic like what to post, what not to post. If you're a sports organization, is going to be a separate episode, which we will have lined up for you very soon. So stay tuned for that. This was episode 103.
103.
So thanks a lot for tuning in.
Share it with your friends also.
Check with your friends. Check in. How are they? How are they doing? Call them.
Call them. Let them know that there's this podcast. Like, no, really. Like, if you have any friends that are studying that are interested in sports marketing, I think just like sharing and saying like, hey, you should listen to this podcast. I think it's good for you. And
if you're interested in sports marketing, Barca, football, social media, just random chatter. There's so many podcasts out there. Like, what can you do to stand out?
Just be yourself. Always creating. Goodbye.